Yeah.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. How was the weekend? Hope we had a lovely weekend. Good morning to Fusigboye Boluwatife. Good morning, A1 Wisdom. Good morning, Adedeji Idris. Good morning to um, Adedoyin Asha. I'm saying good morning to Alfonso Sikediashi, Andrew Jason, Angel, Anthony Kayode Chinedu, good morning to you. Dayo, Ola Dibeye, Dokas Osas, Elu Innocent, Gaia Matthew, Godi, Grace Ola, Hadiza, Jonathan, Kenny Lukman, Dada, saying good morning to you. Mr. Daniel Omeke, Muftal Abiodun, you can see Neoko, Oko Agnes, Oladele Gabriel. I can see Olubumi Titles, Olufowokan, Bamishi, Patricia Ayeni, Philip Amas, Rashid. You can see Soji Farutimi. I can see SS Silvanus August Tolu Lusanya. I can see Victor okay, Abalendeno Key. I'm sorry if I did not call the name well. I can see Williams Aja. I can see Yusuf Adebayo Rashid. I can see Yusuf Rashidat. I can see V. And I know some people are just joining also. So this is what I'm saying to every one of us. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I can see Jonathan. He's saying good morning, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning to you. So it shows that Mr. Jonathan, you can hear me loud and clear from your end. So please and please, you sure you're able to hear me loud and clear from your own end? Please and please, kindly check your network. Maybe you change your location. You understand? Okay. So a very good morning to every one of us once again. My name is Akondiola Komi Joshua, and I'm going to be our pilot for this morning's MMR. You understand? I'm going to be our pilot for this morning's MMR. Okay. So like we all know the drill, we're going to be looking at how the market is going to respond to today's or the chart to look at how it's going to move today. The market is going to move today. That's one. Two, we'll look at what has happened or what is going to happen fundamentally today. We'll look at what happened, how the market ended on Friday. You understand how it opened this morning and what we should be expecting this morning. You understand? And basically what we're expecting from some certain currencies based on some certain things happening in the economy. You understand? We're going to be looking at some of these things. Then from there, we will look at where the market will most likely tilt towards, either up or down on the chart. You understand? So first thing first, if you're just joining me and you're unable to hear me clearly, please kindly change your location to hear me clearly. And also my name, I said, still remains Akondiola Komi Joshua. You can simply call me Josh, Mr. Josh. And yes, and by the time we're done with checking of currencies, commodities, and indices, we'll also give room to us for us to select some certain instruments you want us to look at. You understand? Or if you have any question, you can also ask. Then we'll be able to answer your question. I'll try my best in answering your question to do justice to that. Okay. So thank you very much. I think it's time we start. Okay. So first thing first, I'll share my screen from my own end here. So let's start with fundamentals. Let's look at how the market has moved fundamentally this week. Let's see what exactly, or last week, let's see what exactly the market did and what is going to happen today, how it closed and the likes. Okay. So yes, I'll be sharing my screen to us now. Let's start. Okay. So As of this morning, by 2:30 a.m., we had news coming out on CNY, that's Chinese yuan, even though we know we do not have that particular currency on our platform. But at the same time, there are times that we have some instrument responding to it, like the Chinese yuan now. There are times that JPY reacts to it too. Okay. Then we have news coming up by 10 minutes after 9 a.m. this morning, which is on euros. That's when the President Lagarde, you understand, Christine Lagarde is going to be speaking on this market, you understand. She's going to be giving her own response to whatever it is that she has, and we'll see what is going to be happening. And we all know that whenever she speaks, the market moves, you understand. So by 10 minutes after 9 a.m., she'll start speaking, and yeah, maybe instruments paired with euros we also what? We also move. Then by 10 a.m. we have the German info business climate. Then we also have and then it's coming up by 4 p.m. That's the new home sales. Then we now have news coming out by 10:25 p.m. today. That's for the CHF. S&B chairman Shigel speaks. That's for the Switzerland franc, you understand? The head is going to be speaking, you understand? The S&B chairman, okay, Shell girl, is going to be speaking. And yes, sure, when you have when you hold a top position in an economy, when you speak, your speech is going to carry weight, there's going to be reactions to it. That's all what we're going to be having for today. You understand? And yes, I remember. Let's look at what happened on Friday and let's see. Yes, on Friday we had some high impact news coming, and the market reacted to it. First, we had the JPY around 4:23 a.m. and their interest rate was increased by 0.25, let's say 25 basic point, and which was good for the currency. And that was why we discovered on instrument like USD JPY, there was a massive sell. You understand? All instrument USD JPY, Euro JPY, there was a massive sell. And 7:30 a.m. we had the BOJ, that's Bank of Japan press conference. Then by 9:15 and 9:30, we had news coming out on euros, and it was also positive for it. It also moved up. You understand? Market bought. So for those that traded currencies like Euro USD, you discovered that around that time, the market went up, you understand? And we can say virtually throughout on Friday, the market actually went up, pushed up to the upside. Then by 10, we also had another news coming in, still on the same news, that's flash manufacturing PMI and the flash service PMI. Then we now have the the WEF annual meeting. You understand? That's for the World Economic Forum meeting that was really for all day on Monday. Then by 10:30 a.m., we also had for GBP, and it came out positive, which is also what? A push up for instruments like GBP, USD, and the likes. By 11 a.m., we had news coming out, or a speech was given by President Lagarde. Then by 3:45 p.m., we had news coming out on flash manufacturing PMI and the flash service PMI. It came out neutral and bad. You understand? It came out negative for the currencies too. But yes, interesting thing is it moved in its own way too. It also went down. Then we ended the day with the existing home sales and revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment, which came out by 4 p.m. on USD. And that was it for the day. That was that for on Friday. And then we saw that, yes, the market actually moved in all the direction it said it was going to move. You understand? This is news. So for this morning's for today's news, the only news we had that is really volatile is that of CHF, which is by 10:25 p.m. and that's a speech. So if you want to trade it, yes, you can trade it, but I'll kindly advise you hold on and wait to see the reaction first before you follow the direction. But then we also have by 10 minutes after 9 a.m. when President Lagarde is going to be speaking, she also carries weight in the market. Whenever she speaks, we discover that the market also moves. So let's watch out and see what is going to be happening around those time. Once we discover that the market, there's volatility and the market begins to move, then we should also what? Follow the line, you understand? Can also follow the line and continue the trade from whichever direction it peaks. Okay, that's that on fundamentals. So let's look at what is going to happen technically. Let's look at it. So technically now we'll look at how the market ended and how it opened. So what are we expecting to happen? You understand? And also, mind you, this week, the current president of the United States, that's in person of President Donald Trump, before he came into power, he had it in mind that he was going to be increasing his tariff. They are going to increase tariff on countries like Canada and Mexico and everything. And from all signs, it's almost like everything is going to begin this week. You understand? Everything is going to start this week. From what we're seeing, even from news, showing that everything is going to start this week. So one way or the other, on instrument paired with USD, like USD CAD or USD Mexican peso, we should expect a reaction. We should expect a reaction. But let's fold our hands and see what is going to happen in that situation. Okay? Let's just cross our fingers and see. But once we see that there's a reaction on it, then we could follow that. Okay, so let's go to the market technically and see what the market is going to be doing. First thing first, like we all know, I'm going to start with currencies. Look at currencies pairs first. Let's see what is going to be happening. Then after what is going to happen, then we're on Fisage. Then we'll move to commodities. And from commodities, we now move to what? Indices. Then opportunities will be given to us to ask our questions, and you want us to look at any other instrument, you want us to analyze on it, then you could also what drop it on the chat section for me to see, and I will respond. Thank you. Okay, let's look at it. So we'll start Euro USD. Euro USD. Now, so I remember on Friday I told us the price had gotten to a particular high. Yes. And that, yes, it's most likely that even if it is going to go up, we should wait for it to have a pullback. Should pull back a little. And yes, let's look at it. This is it. And yes, by the time we checked it, we discovered that yes, after a while, it got to that high. Then what? A pullback happened, which from this point, there was a reversal again. This should be around 3. Let's see. It should be around 3 p.m. This. So yes, can you see it's around 3 p.m. That was when the news was released on the flash manufacturing PMI. You understand? And it came out negative for USD. Now it pushed up to this another new high again. Remember, it had gotten to this high. I was telling you that there's every likeliness that yes, this market is going to pull back. We should hold on. And yes, it did pull back. Okay, so now it moved up to this high again. And it has gotten to this high, reversed back. Then the market closed at this particular point. But this morning, there was a gap down. There was a gap down. Can you see? It gapped down and it continued in that line. Now it's around this point. There is a dynamic support around this section. There's a dynamic support around this session. So even if we want to take a trade now, except if you want to be too very aggressive, except you want to be very aggressive, that's when now you want to go for a sell. But to be on a reserve side, our advice, we should be what? We should be reserved on all these. Because yes, if you look at it, at this section, there's a zone now. This section is a strong point. Yes. Can you see? The moving average is here. That's one. The dynamic support trend line is also here. It's a strong point. So hold on for it to break below that particular session. Let it go below it. If it's able to close below this section successfully, session successfully, that's downwards, then we could follow the trend. Go for yourself. But if that is not the case, please, let's hold on. Wait for it, because there could be there could be a pushback. And one of the things we need to know is these currencies will expect respect zones more. You understand? Very, very obedient when it comes to zones. And that's why you discover that price, even at this position now, you discover that price is struggling there. So let's hold on for price to do what? To break free from that particular zone. If it goes back, if it continues the movement and is able to close below this particular zone here, fine. It means it has destroyed this first zone. Now, one will now give you another strong uh, impression to go for the sell is if there is a pullback, a retest, and after the retest is unable to break below this zone, then yes, we're expecting price to go where? To go down strictly. You understand? So if price is able to close below this point and maybe another bearish candle should also follow, then you can go for your straight sell. No shaking. You understand? But currently you discover that price is respecting that zone. It's having issues around that point. Why? If you look at it, the dynamic supports, two dynamic supports are there, the trend and the moving average, all showing it that that particular session is a strong zone, is a strong demand zone. So let's wait for price to break below it successfully first, even if we want to go for a sell. If price is able to break below it, then we should expect it to sell. But if that does not happen, if the reverse is the case, it could push back to the upside. And yes, you can see that there's a gap here. You could push back to cover for this gap first. Maybe it might even decide to get back to this particular high before now selling again, before now selling and going down, breaking all those zones. You understand? But let's watch out and see what it's going to do first. Once he's able to fulfill our own instruction that we're waiting for, then we can go for our sell. That's that on that. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's look at USD CAD. Let's go for USD CAD. After USD CAD, we'll come to USD JPY. USD CAD. Okay. USD CAD. All right. So on USD CAD now, based on what we're seeing on this trend, we discover that it's been more or less like it's going down. In fact, let me pick it from this point. So we'll see. If I'm to pick it from this point first, we'll discover that it's been going down for a while now. Can we see? It's been going down. And currently where price is resting to, there's a zone there. And that's why you're seeing that price is having issues around that point. If we were to look at it based on where the trend line started from, it's been dropping little by little. So yes, if we were to pick it from that point, well, if we want to also pick it from another side, we could say, okay, let's pick it from this particular high. I'm coming. If you have to pick it from this particular high here, okay, this is one. So if price is also close to this particular zone, so yes, there could be price being stiff, they're having some struggling at that point. Yes, struggling, price could struggle at this particular session here. So let's hold on and see what price is going to do. And we also discovered that price gapped up on USD CAD too, showing the strength of what? The USD. So let's wait out and see. If price is able to break above this particular zone, then we could expect price to get back to the top. We're expecting price to get back to the top. And basically, I for one, I've been looking at the USD for some time now, and I'll actually pitch my tent with the bulls. I'm expecting instruments like USD CAD, USD, instrument paired with USD, basically where USD is the base. I'm expecting them to push to the upside. I'm actually going to pitch my tent with the bulls, you understand? But don't just go for the buy. Wait to see a buy position before you enter the buy or place a buy. As it is now, just like I said, remember I said, looking at the trend, this particular zone is a supply zone. You discover that price is struggling around that point. So let's wait for price to, even if you want to go for buy, wait for price to break above this particular session first. If it's able to break above it and close above it successfully, and if there's a retest, goes back down and is unable to break below this trend, this particular dynamic resistance here, is unable to break below it, then we could go for what? Our buy, full straight buy with full mind. And yes, we enjoy it. But if that is not the case, if it's unable to break above this point, two things might happen. Either it reverses back down, or price will range at that zone, that point. Price is going to range at that point. You understand? It's either it goes back down or price ranges. You understand? So that's my take on USD CAD. Let's hold on for price to do our own what we're expecting. Now, if it's able to meet our expectation, then we take our move. But if it doesn't, we do what? We wait. Just like we've always said, and I've always shared with us here, waiting is a strategy. Waiting is a strategy. Waiting is a strategy. The patient dog is the fattest bone when it comes to technicals. Don't rush. That's the main thing when it comes to technicals. All right. Thank you on that. Let's move to the next instrument, which is USD JPY. USD JPY. Okay. All right. I'm on USD JPY. All right. So looking at it for some time now, we discover that price has actually moved between 2 points here. This is 0.1, and this is point. In fact, I can put it this way: 0.2. This 0.1, 0.2. Now you discover that all the while, even for all the section parts that price has gone below, it was more or less like just a shadow. It still reversed back into this particular session. You understand? And that's where we'll have an issue of internal support and resistance, like internal demand and supply zones. So, well, let's look at it from this aspect. Let's see what price is going to be saying. Okay. So even on the 4-hour time frame too, you see, price has been in between this particular session. It's more or less like it's ranging between these two zones. So now, if it goes to the high side, gets back to the low side, back to the high side, low side. Now again, it's more or less like it's in between. So because it's in between, let's hold on for price to what? Pick a direction. If it picks a direction successfully and is able to, in fact, to make it interesting, if it breaks out of any of those zones, then fine, we can go for that particular session. But at the same time, if we want to look at it this way, let's see. Let me see if this is going to work. Okay. So this is on my 4-hour time frame anyway. I'm building this particular trend. Can you see? Okay. So if you're looking at it from this part now, you discover that yes, it's more or less like maybe price wants to go down, but if price is able to break above this section, we could go for a buy. So this is it. Let's hold on for price to break above this point, be able to break above it, wait for it to break outside, out of this particular zone completely, then we'll go for our buy. But if that is not the case, we discover the price is respecting this trend, then it means it wants to get back to this point. So below around this point, we could have our buy limit, let's say. So if price should hits that point, it could pick us for a buy, then reverse back up. So I'll just say we can hold on for price around this particular session here. Just like I said, remember I told us, for me, my own buyers on instrument paired with USD, most especially instruments where USD is the base. My own buyers or opinion or option on it is what a buy. I'm going to pitch my tent with the bulls. So I'm expecting the price, if it gets back into this particular zone here, I'm expecting price to push up. So you could have your buy, your pending orders of buy limit around this point for it to pick you up for a buy. But let's hold on for price to close in that zone first. If it goes to this particular zone and it breaks below it, yes, there could be a different movement. It could be a different movement so that what price will sell. So yes, we need to wait and see what it's going to do. Let price fall into this zone first. Once it falls into this zone, if it's able to break above it or reverse back to the upside, then we can go for that. But if it breaks below it and has a retest and is unable to break back into that zone, then it will continue the sell movement. But for me, I'm just like I said, on my own opinion, I'm pitching my tent with the bulls on USD. That's my take. Okay. That's that on USD JPY. Let's look at GBP USD. GBP USD. GBP USD. All right, I'm on GBP USD now. So let's look at what price is saying. Same. Price got to this particular high, got rejected. Now on GBP USD, the interesting part of it is price is ranging. Price is ranging. And like we all know, I've said it times without number, on a ranging market, it's known as a correction zone. Ranging markets are known as correction zones. So what are we waiting for? A breakout of the zones, either to the upside or downside. You understand? So if he picks a direction, then we follow. That's the main thing. If he picks a direction, then we what? We follow. If he picks the direction to the upside, we'll go for our buy. If he picks it to the downside, we go for our sell. So please do it. Okay, come in. Let's see. Based on what we're seeing as of now. Okay, so let's look at it from this side like this. If he's able to break out of that zone successfully, either to the up or downside, then we'll do what? We'll follow. If it goes up, we'll go for our buy. If it goes down, we'll go for our sell. But pending that time, we are to what? We are to wait. Wait. See, technicals, we just have to be very, very patient. Once it meets our requirements, then we follow. But if it doesn't meet our requirements, we do what? We wait. So on this particular instrument, waiting is the key. GBP USD, we are to what? We are to wait. Okay. So let's look at another instrument here. Currencies. Let's look at USD CHF. USD CHF. So once I'm done with USD CHF, we'll move down to commodities. Then we'll check gold, oil, and maybe one or two commodity instruments. After which we'll move to what? Indices. Okay. So let's start. USD CHF then. All remember that by 10:25 p.m. today, we're having information coming up on CHF. A speech is going to be given by the S&B chairman, Shigel, you understand? So that could also drive the market speech. Okay, so let's look at on USD CHF. On USD CHF, okay. Let's see what price is actually doing. This is on my 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we discover that price has actually gone to a particular high. And at that point, price is now what? Moving back down, but currently this morning, price is what is not really moving with strength. It's not really moving with strength. This is on my 4 hours. You understand? This is on 4 hours. So if price should break below this particular session successfully and close below it, then we should expect price to sell. But let's see what is happening on 1 hour. Okay, on my 1 hour, let's see. Let's see what is happening on 1 hour. All right, please kindly hold on. I'm having a network glitch here. My network is glitching. Please, let's hold on. I'm working on it, please. All right. Sorry for that, but I'm back now. So let's continue. I believe you can hear me loud and clear. So let's continue. Okay. Let me share my screen so we can see it. Yes, USD CHF. Okay. USD CHF. All right. Okay. So on my 1 hour time frame, let's see what is happening for hours. Oh God. Now, thank God, I've done the whole thing. Sorry. So I think it was the network that distorted and we were unable to see what was happening accurately. But now that the network is back, we're able to see. So on USD CHF, we discovered that price has been dropping even on 4 hours time frame. Look at what is showing us. Price has actually dropped and it has gotten to this particular zone here. This particular zone is a strong demand zone, and that was why you discovered the price pushed up. So this is what we're expecting. If price should get back to this particular uh, demand zone here and is unable to break below it, it should what? It should go back to the upside. Let's see what we're seeing here. Let me see. Let's see. Based on what we're seeing here, if we were to pull it, even around this point. Okay, so successfully done. All right. Nice. So based on what we're seeing, it's showing us a downward trend here. So we're expecting price to push back down to this point if it's unable to get to that high. After which, if it's unable to break below this particular section, we're expecting it to go up. Now, this is on 4 hours, but let's look at it on 1 hour time frame and see what it's saying. Okay, let me zoom out. Look at it on 1 hour. It's been moving. So it is expected for price. There could be a little pullback around this point. Then after that, pushes back up to where this trend is. So if it once it gets to this trend, it is expected for price to respect it and do what? Push back to the downside, except if it breaks above that zone. So I'm expecting price to still drop on USD CHF, expecting it to drop. So now it might still continue that send movement. But even with that, don't forget by 10:25 p.m. today, there's going to be an information from the SMB chairman. But currently, as of this morning, we still got some time till before 10 p.m. I'm expecting price to still push back, to go down, to still continue that same movement to the downward side. Yes, should continue that same trend. Okay, so that's that on USD CHF. I'm expecting price to still go down. That's my take. All right, so let's look at commodity now. Let's look at commodity now. Good oil, good oil. Let's start with gold. We'll go for gold. Yes, go for gold. Looking at gold, and yes, based on what we are seeing on gold, gold got to this particular high, and after that started dropping. It's been dropping, and it has gotten to close to a demand zone here. In fact, let's see if I can do this from this point. Let's see. See from this point. Okay. Okay. Now, broke this particular trend here, right? That's one. This is too sharp. So let's look at it. Yes, even if it's coming down, if it's able to push down, we're expecting it to get to this particular point first. Then we expect price to reverse back up. On gold, yes, we expect price. I'm expecting price to push back to the upside. But whatever movement is going to be having, I expect it to just get down to this particular point here before a reversal. I'm expecting price to get to this point. You know when it's going to get there, but yes, I'm expecting price to get to this particular session here. Expecting it to get to this particular session. So if price is able to get to this particular point, yes, I'm expecting price to come within this zone here, after which, as far as it's unable to break below this particular session, there should be a reverse back to the upside on gold. That's that on gold. This is on my 1 hour. Let's see it on 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours too is still the same thing. You discover the price has been going up for a while. Then now, price broke below it, below that particular session. They closed below it. There was a little retest after that. It respected that point and still moving down. So we're expecting it to get to this point, then a reverse back to the upside. That's my own take on gold. I expect it to get down, after which there will be what? A reverse back. In fact, to make it so interesting, look, when price broke this particular session here, this zone here, this dynamic support around this point, went down, then there was a retest. It was unable to break, then it continued, you see? So it's expected to get to this. I'm expecting it to get to this zone, after which it will do what? It will push back to the upside. Yes, I'm expecting it to push back to the upside. Okay, that's my take on gold. That's my take on gold. Okay, so let's look at oils. Let's look at oils. This is on oils. We discovered the price of oil has been dropping. It's been going down, down, down. This is it. And yes, based on what we're seeing on this trend, price of oil has been going down for a while now. And I'll still pitch my tent with that bearish move. I'm still expecting price to go down. I can't remember the information fully now. That was because it was last week. I got the information on news that Donald Trump was actually speaking with all these bodies like OPEC and Saudi Arabia on oil, so that they could stabilize oil price of oil and every other thing. But please do not forget the fact that US is currently the largest producer of oil now. You understand? So they also now are also a major factor in the oil market. So I think what they're trying to do is to bring down the price of oil. So I'm still expecting oil to drop anyway. Based on what it has done for a while, I'm expecting oil to still drop. It's still going to drop. Let's see. Based on past, I'm expecting it to still drop. That's my take. On oil, I'm expecting price of oil to go down. So let's look out for a sell position. Yes, even though based on what we're seeing as of this morning, oil to also did what? Gapped. Based on what we're seeing, oil also what? It gapped. Yes, it gapped down. In fact, let me zoom it in so we could see clearly. It gapped down, and yes, from all indication, it's trying to push back up to cover for that gap. And if it's able to cover for the gap from that point, from let's say from around this point, if it's able to cover for this gap now from around this point, price could start going back down. That's my take on it. From this point, around this point here, price could start going back down. So let's expect price of oil to still push back to the downside. Just a little pull up. That's what it's going. It's going back up a little bit. Then after that, I expect price to do what? To go down. So on oil, I'll pitch my tent with the bears. I pitch my tent with the bears. That's my take on oil. The price is still going to go down. Okay. Okay, we're done with that. Let's look at indices now. Let's go for indices. So first thing first, we'll look at US 30, then go to US 100, US 500, then US 2000. After which I'll give us the opportunity to start dropping instruments you want me to look at. If you have any question, and I'll also try my best to answer your questions. Okay, so let's start with US 30. All right, US 30. Okay. I remember on Friday while we were doing the MMR, I told us that this market is ranging, and because it's ranging, we don't know where exactly it's going. Let us wait for it to pick a direction. Now I know for those that would have waited and discovered that yes, it picked a bearish move, dropping down, they entered for the sell. They will be in profit, massive profit. They would have made their profit. And as of this morning, we discovered that it has gotten to a demand zone. And that's why price is having issues around this point now. So even if it is going to continue that same trend, you understand? Let's wait for it to break below this session successfully. Let's wait for it to break below this session successfully. But if that is not the case, if we're unable to break below this particular zone successfully, then we should expect price pushing back up. That's that on US 2000. Should expect price to push back up if it's unable to break below this particular session successfully. Okay? Yes. Right. Let's look at US 100. Okay, so on US 100, it's also giving the same vibe like US 30. It has dropped. In fact, on US 100, based on what we're seeing, it gapped down to. In fact, most like today, it's more or less like most of the instruments there was a gap, even on currency, it gapped down, gapped up differently. You understand? So, yes, on US 100, it gapped down. And it has gotten to this particular support here, and you see that price is having issues. It could still go down. You understand? But for that to happen, let's wait and see. It, even if it's going to go down, I'm looking at price having issue around this point. So let's hold on and let's wait and see. Maybe around this point, we could pitch our tent with who? The bulls. Maybe around this point we could pitch our tent with the bulls. But let's wait and see first because price could get to this particular session and break below it and continue the downward trend. But let's hold on and see what is going to happen. Around this zone, it could push back to the upside. Yes. Okay. So that's that on US 100. That's my take on US 100. All right, so let's move to US 500. Let's move to US 500 and we'll see what is going to happen. Let's see what the market is saying on US 500. Right. Okay, it's more or less like all the indices instruments are giving us the same vibe on US 100, US 30, US 500 is also giving the same vibe of what the downward movement, the downward trend. So for this, I'm still going to do the same, I'm giving the same clue. Okay, so around this point, okay, coming, yes. So this is one. Price could still push down, or where it is currently now, it's a zone on its own. You understand? So if price is unable to break below this particular session here successfully, if price is unable to break below it successfully, there could be a push back to the upside. So there are two things here. Either you wait for it to break below, and if it breaks below, it could continue the movement down to this session here. But if that does not happen, there could be a reversal back to the upside. So that's that on US 500. Okay. Let's look at US 2000. US 2000. Still with us. All right, US 2000. Okay. US 2000. Hmm. All right. This is giving another vibes. Okay, this is that for US 2000. Got here, got rejected, and it's trying to push back to the upside. So let's wait and see what price is going to do here. Is it going to get back? But from the whole thing, you discover that price got close to the zone, started what getting there was rejection that was not that started pushing back price to the upside. You understand? So let's wait and see what is going to happen. Is it going to go back to the upside, reverse back and push up and cover for this gap, or it's going to continue the movement? But one of the two is this. We wait and see. By hopefully by 9, we'll see what the price is going to do. And yes, maybe because today is a Monday, price is a little bit stiff where it is. It's not really pushing. But indices, there's still time. We still got like some few minutes more. So price will still push down and break below this zone or a reverse back, because this particular point has proved to be a strong zone for a while now. Look at it. This was based on news. It reversed back to this point. The next candle was bullish and it pushed it back. It reversed back, covered the whole distance of this news back to this upside, pushed it down, still went back up to this point. Now it's coming back to that same section again. So around this session, I'm expecting, yes, I should expect price to push up. On US 2000, I'm expecting price to what? To push up. But let's wait and see what price is going to do. Let's wait and see. But I'll pitch my tent with the bulls on US 2000. That's that on US 2000. So at this junction now, I'll give us the opportunity to drop our instruments. We still have like some 10, 11 minutes to before we call it a day or call it a morning. So I'll give us the opportunity to drop our instrument that you want us to look at and see what will most likely happen. And if you have a question to also drop it on the chat box for me so I can see, then I'll attend to it. As I'm attending to one and you have any question, please just drop your instrument that you want me to or want us to look at, then we'll work on that. Okay? Thank you. Okay, Dorothy Okoje is saying, please kindly look at D40. All right, all right. Let's see D40. Let's look at D40. Right. I'm still with us, Dorothy Okoje. Looking at it. Let's see. Okay. DE40. All right. So based on what we are seeing, we discovered that price has gone up for a while. It got to this particular high. Now it's expecting that same zone and it's dropping now. And it has gotten to this particular session here. This is a demand zone, and that's why you're seeing price is having issues around that point. Price already having issues around this point. So let's wait and see what is going to happen. You understand? Because nobody actually knows the direction this market is going to go. All we're doing is we're just emphasizing based on what we're seeing from the demand and supply zone. That's just what we're waiting to see. And hopefully, whichever direction it is, based on what we know, if it breaks below a particular zone or above them, we know the next step to take. But based on what we've been seeing, it's been pushing up for a while now, and it got to this particular session. It's now started reversing back down. And based on what we're seeing currently now, it's not giving us a definite direction now because it's resting at this zone. So what our advice is, we wait. Let's wait and see what it's going to do. Once it's done, the whole it's going to pick a direction. And once it picks a direction, our advice, we take the direction a tilts towards either to the upside or the downside. That's that on D40. Let's just wait for it and see what it wants to do first. You understand? So that's that on that D40. Okay. Good Friday, Asemuta. Say look at AUD USD. Okay, you want us to look at AUD USD. All right, let's see what is happening on AUD USD. With us on this AUD USD. So yes, based on what we're seeing around this point, there's a demand zone, and that's why you're seeing the prices are also struggling here. So let's wait and see what price is going to do. Is it going to break below this session? If it's able to break below this session, then and closes below it after this whole move, if it's able to break below this particular session, here I'm coming. Let me make it. Yes, it's able to break below this section successfully. There could be a continuation in that trend. That price wants to drop down, and we could be looking at it getting down to around close to this point here. You understand? If it drops into this zone and there's a retest and is unable to break back to the upside, we could be looking at it coming down to this particular session here. You understand? So let's wait and see what it wants to do. Is it going to break it? If it breaks this particular session successfully, then we're expecting price to get to this point. But if that does not happen, there could be a reverse back to the upside. That's that on AUD USD. It's just but it's giving us that vibe because when it got to this particular high, tried, was unable to break above this particular zone. Look at it. Let's see. If you look at it, all what it did, there was a push to the upside, push, but it still what came back into that same session again, So from all look, that was what pushed price down. So at this particular session, so let's wait and see what price wants to do. Is it going to break below it? If it breaks below it successfully and closes below it, maybe now a retest and is unable to break above it, then we should expect price to do what? To drop. So I will be expecting price to do what? To drop down to this point. But look at it, price is having issues around that point. And if price is having issues around that point, then we could have a reversal back on this chart. Okay. Yes, I'm still giving us opportunity. We've got like some 5 minutes more before we call it a day. Just have, I say 5 minutes or 4 minutes and some seconds. So you have any other instrument you want me to look at, or you have a question you want to ask, please kindly drop it. Let's see. Drop your question so we'll look at it and we'll attend to it from this point. I'm waiting for us, please. If you have any question, please drop your question. Let's look at it. Or you have instrument one, GBP JPY. Okay, let's look at GBP JPY. GBP JPY. Okay, GBP JPY. I'm on it. All right. So on GBP JPY, basically, if you look at it, it's discovered that price got to this particular top here, this particular high. Yes. Now, when it got there, price got rejected. In fact, as of this, based on what we're seeing, it gapped down a little here. Yes. And this should be around when? I'm not sure. This is okay. This was on Friday. Yes. Price gapped down a little here before it moved back. Then this morning again picked up from exactly where it gapped, now going back and remaining. So based on what we're seeing here now, price also filled that gap back to this point and got rejected and is now pushing back to the downside. So basically around this point there's a zone. So if price is able to break below this particular section, then we could see a continuation on the downside. We could see a continuation of that downward movement. That's around this point. So let's wait for price and see what's going to do. Is it going to go below this particular session, or is going to respect this zone and reverse back up? We have to wait and see what is going to happen. That's just, we have to wait. Let's wait and see what price is going to do around this zone. You understand? On GBP JPY, because based on this movement, it's been moving up. It has gotten to this new high. Now it has went back there, touched it. We respected the zone and came back down again. So we're expecting this price to push back down to this point. If it's unable to break below this session successfully, then we could have a reversal back up. But if it breaks below it, then there could be a new move to the downside. So that's that on GBP JPY. All right, so we just have some about a minute and some seconds more, I'll give us the opportunity for just one instrument, one more instrument, one more instrument. So you have one instrument you want us to look at. Before we call it again, please just drop it. So the next instrument that is dropped is what I'll look at, and we'll call it a day. One more instrument is what I'm expecting. One more. You have that one instrument before it's you just have some few seconds more. Some few seconds more. Maybe I should give us a countdown. Once the countdown is done, then we'll call it a day, right? I'm still with us, please. Do we have one more? Okay, let me just do a countdown. Okay. GBP card. All right. So this will be the last instrument for the day. GBP card. Then we'll call it a day. GBP card. All right, GBP card. All right, so on GBP card, based on what we're seeing, price is ranging between two zones here. Simple. It's just dancing between these two zones. So what we're going to do is to wait for price to do what? To break out of these two zones. If you want to take it, in fact, it's just between these 2 points. So let it break out of it. Correction zones. This is the correction zone. And basically, it's even on a new high. And because it's on a new high, it is expected for price to pull back to the downside. You understand? So yes, as you can see, a new candle has even started on this particular one. A new candle has started. You understand? And it's based on what we're seeing now, is the red candle we're seeing as of now. So let's wait and see. Is it going to push down and break below? If that happens, then we could go for our sell. If it breaks below this point and closes below it, then we could go for our sell. But if that does not happen, we'll have to wait. So that's that on GBP card. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, A1 Wisdom, Abolaji Jeremiah, Adedeji Idris, Alfonso Ikediashi, Adeyemi Olalekan, Alebode Isedu, Andrew Jason, Angel, Celestine Osugishe, Awojobi Felix, Bluefield FX, Aremu Okpeyemi, Anthony Kayode. All right. Thank you, everybody. Do have a lovely day. Bye for now.